as a man, your job is to provide and protect your family. That could be your kids, your wife, whoever that happens to be that's under your care. Intrinsically, that has to be a priority for you and a number one.
What's up, Charm Squad? Welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Tremaine. So make sure you drop your blue hearts in the comment section below and also subscribe to my channel. All right, you guys. So look, today's video is going to be a little different. I am not posting a vlog tonight, and you guys have been showing up so much for these Monday evening vlogs, and I'm really appreciating it and loving the feedback. But I had a question. I had a really good question that was sent to my inbox on last Tuesday, and I wanted to talk about it and read the question to you guys and just give you some dialogue, because one of my subscribers, she had reached out to me and she said, "Good morning, Tremaine. I just watched your recent video on YouTube and I saw that you said what you said about the Tyler Perry comment. I was wondering if you could make a video or even a clip of you and Jeremy talking about how you became a stay-at-home wife. Were you working when you guys met? How did you guys decide that you would stay home? And as a Black woman who has been through things in your previous relationship, how did you trust that Jeremy was going to really take care of you and provide? How does your mom feel about you not working a corporate job and allowing your man to take care of you? I'm just curious. I will be going through a divorce soon, and I will be taking some time to focus on myself and not worry about dating. But when I step back out there, where does one find a man that really wants to provide?" LOL. I'm laughing, but seriously. So she sent me this very long DM over on Instagram. And if you guys are not following me over on Instagram at Tremaine Hoskin, please head on over there and follow me. And you guys can communicate with me. I really love to hear different feedbacks and stuff like that, because sometimes when you just hear talking in front of a camera, it feels like you're talking to yourself a lot. So I really appreciate when you guys give me feedback and comments and things of that nature. So first of all, thank you so much. I had already responded to her, but I did say that I wanted to make a video about it because I have went into some details of Jeremy and our relationship, but it was in a vlog, and I was like, let me put this into a short form video, because a lot of people, once they're discovering you, they're not looking at watching your old vlog. They want some short to the point content, and I absolutely 100% understand that. So I wanted to go ahead and just get into her question. How I became a stay-at-home wife. She said wife. Jeremy and I are not married just yet. He and I are engaged. We got engaged last year in December, and we were going to get married early part of this year, but with everything that happened with my dad, with his health and things declining, we decided to just hold off to see what was going to happen. And then unfortunately, my dad passed the day after my birthday. Then I found I was pregnant the week before my dad passed. So your girl was in a whole little tizzy about that. But how I became a stay-at-home fiance is back in 2021, and this would kind of go into the question that you asked on down, was I always a stay-at-home fiance? So back in 2021, I quit my job. I was a operation manager at Love's Travel Stop from 2019 to 2021. And previous for that, I was a manager at Sam's Club. So from the age of, I don't know, I was 23. So from 2013 to 2019, I worked as a manager at Sam's Club. Right after I graduated from college, I worked with Sam's Club, and then I went into working with Love's. I stated in previous videos, and I'll make sure I link those down below, but I was very unhappy working at Love's, especially during the pandemic and everything that was going on. But prior to leaving Sam's Club, I had started to get myself out of debt. So I've talked about Dave Ramsey a ton in previous videos, but Dave Ramsey essentially helped me get out of debt, and we did something that was called the debt snowball. So I did not have any debt. So when I decided to leave Love's, I had close to $40,000 saved up, and I started my luxury picnic business, where I was gonna be out here, be an entrepreneur, be a content creator, do all the things. And a week later, my sister gave me a phone call and said, hey, dad has stage 4 prostate cancer, and since you don't have a job anymore, we're gonna need you to step up and take him to his appointments and see after him and care for him and da 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 da. So I was like, wow. it was a step back for me, just because this was the first time that I actually was like, I'm finally about to quit my job. I finally don't have any debt. I finally have some money saved up. This is the most amount of money I've had saved up in life. You feel what I'm saying? And especially at that time, as I was 28, 29 years old. That was the most amount of money I've ever seen saved in one time. So I was like, man, I'm finally finna go ahead and do this thing. I'm finna be an entrepreneur. I'm finna be a content creator. I'm finna do this. I'm finna do that. And then to have to take on the role of taking care of my dad. So I took care of my dad for 2 years. So that's the reason why I have been off work for 2 years. And like I said, unfortunately, my daddy passed April 15th of this year. And so that is why I no longer care for him. Because even with us moving to Georgia, I was still going back and forth to take him to doctor's appointment, because I only stayed 4 hours away, and his doctor's appointments were bi-weekly. So I didn't have to go home every single week. I just come home twice a month. So that is how that whole little ordeal and everything started, with me being a stay-at-home fiance. And even with me being stay-at-home, I never depended on Jeremy until we actually moved here to Georgia in December. Because when I was still staying in Mississippi, I still had my own apartment. I paid my own bills, you know, my own rent, cell phone bill, did all the things on my own. I didn't need Jeremy's support until we moved here. And it was never a conversation that we had to have, because it was a trait that I saw in Jeremy in the beginning. So if you guys are not familiar with Jeremy and our relationship, we are coming up on 3 years on October the 13th. But Jeremy is a person that I have known throughout my childhood. We went to school together, we went to high school together, and all the things like that. And we kind of reconnected over 3 years ago, and we got in a relationship. We connected over Snapchat because your girl was at a brunch and was feeling herself and got on Snapchat because my mom was in her feelings, talking about she wants some grandkids, and I said, who trying to be my husband? And Jeremy slid in your girl DM. So that's how we pretty much got together, and we got a grandchild on the way for my mama. But that's essentially how we got together. But Jeremy has always been a traditional man, if that makes sense. He has always been a provider. He has never asked me to go half on something. He has never asked me to come out of pocket for anything. Jeremy is the type of person that if he don't have it, he doesn't have it. But he's gonna either make a way to get what he needs, or we're gonna do something else. And I'll give you an example. This is not our example, but I'll give you an example. So say, for instance, if I really, really wanted to go to the movies and go out to eat or something like that, and Jeremy knows that he don't have enough money to do that, Jeremy may that night go get some groceries, and he'll come back home and cook, and we'll find something online to watch. Because that's the type of person that he was. He would never be like, oh, let's not do that, let's do this. He will still make a way out of what I requested or asked for. And like I said, I can't even really come up with an example, but that's just something that I just really made up, because Jeremy has always been a provider for me since the beginning of our relationship. And that was really hard for me, because the first 2 years, first year and a half, 2 years of our relationship, I was working and I was making a lot of money, and I was putting a lot of the money that I was making to the side. So that's how I was able to save up more money before I left Love's, because I didn't have to worry about anything when I was in Jeremy's presence. Were we working where you guys met? The answer is yes. Like I said, I was in management. I have been in management my whole career of working. When I graduated from college in 2013, oh, that sounds so long ago. But when I graduated from college in 2013, I graduated in May. I started working at Sam's in July, and I have been in corporate America since then. As a black woman who has been through things in your previous relationship, how did you trust that Jeremy was going to take care of you and provide? Girl, let me tell you something. Like I said, I knew that Jeremy was a traditional man, but with me being the headstrong person that I am, and especially that I really was when we first got together, it was a challenge. Because we would go out to eat and I would try to pay, and he'll look at me like,
You with a man that is an adequate leader, protector, and a provider. He has earned your trust. He serves you and the family. He ain't gotta tell you out his lips, submit to me. Ain't it always the men, devoid of those other things, that's telling you, you better submit to me? When you with a qualified man, it don't even feel like submitting to that man. It just happens naturally. It feels like a partnership. It feels like a threefold cord. It feels like a rib returning to the place where it belongs. He ain't gotta dominate you with his words because his actions is saying, I got you. So when this man asks you to do something, you say, okay. But I'm gonna tell you, when it's reversed, when you with a man that can't lead, that's filled with ego and pride, that's insecure, when he asks you to do something, it don't feel like it's coming from a place of your best interest. It's despite your best interest. Then now it feels like submission because you're going against your natural instinct of self-preservation. Quit dating that make it not safe for you. You get that qualified man, that God-fearing man, that soulmate, that compatibility partner, that person that got your best interest in mind, it don't even feel like submission.
What you doing? And I was just like, well, I'm not used to that, I'll be talking about stuff from my past and all that stuff like that. He was like, look, let me stop you right now. If I'm asking you out or if we're out, just know that things will be taken care of. But shut me the hell up, you know what I'm saying? But it was, I came from my relationships background is me always making more than whoever I was with, me always paying for things, me always cooking, providing, cleaning for men that did not deserve it. So when Jeremy stepped into my life, I didn't know how to bring value to the relationship because I looked at me being the breadwinner as my value. So I didn't know how to be feminine or be soft or be submissive, whatever way you want to put it, child. I didn't know how to do that when I was with Jeremy. And that's still a constant struggle even to this day. And we're about to be 3 years into our relationship. And it's still a struggle for me because sometimes I'd be like, girl, look, calm down. Calm down, pump your brakes, just calm down, settle down, and, allow him to lead. And if he's not able to lead, it's okay for me to take the lead on this certain thing. But at the end of the day, know that he is going to be the one who lead in our relationship. And, I have a very headstrong mom. Y'all know my mom be on my vlogs and stuff like that. Y'all have seen her through our videos and pictures and things of that nature. So coming from my background of being with a single mother, child, it was very, very hard. It was very hard because I have a lot of traits and characteristics about myself that my mother possesses. This question, she said, how does your mom feel about you not working a corporate job and allowing your man to take care of you? Girl, my mama tell me every day that I need to get a job. She tell me every day that I need to get a job, but she also knows that I never ask her for anything. So it's not her place to tell me what I should and shouldn't do. Because how I feel, if I don't come to you, ask you for nothing, baby, you can't tell me nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, my mama trusts me and we're all adults. You know what I'm saying? I'm 33 years old. At the end of the day, we're all adults. We're all grown. So she trusts that if I needed help, that I would ask for help. Yeah, she's going to give me some pushback because she is my mom. But she has never seen women in a role that I am in because, like I said, my mom was a single mother for since I was 6 years old. She raised 3 kids. She never saw a woman soft, if that makes sense. So she never saw that. And even though like her dynamic with her mom, my mom is the 11th child out of 16. So even though her mother was a stay-at-home mom, she still saw her do so much because she had a lot of kids, you know what I'm saying? So my mom has never seen anyone do content creation and, you know, be successful at it and make money from it. So my mama didn't think that me doing this right now was a job, and she would love for me to go back to work, and eventually I will go back to work. But after my dad had passed, I said, let me, you know, after my emotions and things like that have settled and I have came to the realization, like, girl, you really are pregnant, I wanted to fully take content creation seriously, because I wasn't allotted that time 2 years ago. Yes, I was still creating videos and creating content, but my mind space and my head space wasn't in the right place, because I was dealing with taking my dad back and forth to the doctor, you know, trying to still run a business at that time, and trying to create content, trying to show up for family and friends and all of the things, and not do what I had set out, what I said I was gonna set out to do, because I was doing all these other things. So I have shown her proof that you can make money from content. I have provided proof for myself for making some money from content creation. So she's like, okay, you good. But child, like I said, my mama tell me every day I need to get a job. Where does one find a man that really wants to provide? So this is, I don't want you to find him. I want him to find you. And you know, I'm not sure if you're a believer or anything like that, or anybody believes that is watching this video, but I never, in the beginning, I did a lot of things to seek out and try to be in a relationship. I'm not gonna lie. But when Jeremy and I got together, I did not find him. Jeremy found me. Now, I was venting on Snapchat, but I wasn't looking for him. So I don't want you to go out and find a man. Now, I will say that I do 100% agree with the saying that you put yourself in places that you would want to be in. So say for instance, if you desire to live in a nicer neighborhood, go shopping in those neighborhoods. If you want a man that goes to the country club, maybe go to the country club. You know, put yourself in those settings and allow those men to be attracted to you. Now, I'm in some groups on Facebook, and I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that, but I will link them down below. But luxury for black women, or luxury brown girls, is one of the groups that I'm in, and they have a lot of valid information in there that I will say that I have taken from them. I would just say good old fashioned, just being approachable. A lot of times us as women, we're not as approachable as we think that we are. So we have something that is called the resting bitch face. And a lot of times we just don't look approachable, so guys do not approach us. That does not mean that we don't want to be approached, but at the same time, we're not looking approachable. And don't go out the house looking raggedy. Now, I can attest, I will go out the house looking raggedy. But when you are actively dating and trying to be pursued, you want to have some upkeep about yourself. So, I don't know. I met my man. Look, be like, what you call my man? But my man found me on Snapchat. So, I hope that answered your question. I hope that gave you some insight and background on Jeremy and our relationship. I would have had him to come in on the video, but he is at work right now, and I wanted to go ahead and film this video and get it edited. I did show him your question, and we actually talked about it because it was something that we never really had a conversation about. It was always understood. And I know a lot of times when you get into relationships with people, communication is key, and a lot of things that goes unsaid is not necessarily will be thought out or pursued out. But Jeremy just knew, just because of who he was. of how he wanted to provide and take care of the person that he wanted to be with. And I just so happen to be that person that he wants to be with. So, hope that answers your question. If it did, please leave some more questions down below or hit me back up over on Instagram. And I will see you guys in my next video. Before y'all head out, make sure y'all drop y'all blue hearts in the comment section. Make sure y'all subscribe and like this video. And I will see y'all on my next one. Bye.
So my grandfather was a man's man. He only had a 3rd grade education. My grandmother graduated from Jackson State. And I remember being 5 years old, and we went to go get the Christmas tree. Every year we would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go to Berkeley, downtown Berkeley, to get the Christmas tree. And one Christmas, we stopped. I asked my grandmother, can we stop and get some donuts? She said no, but my granddaddy said yes. And he said, okay, we got the donuts, put them on the stove, and once you're done, we can eat them. Well, I put them on the stove, went back to check them. It was ants all over them. I was screaming and hollering, and my grandfather, being the brawny kind of man's man, I watched him come all the way down into his gentleness and his tenderness and take care of me. He sat me on his lap. He said, what's wrong with Big Daddy's baby? I said, Dad's got the donuts. He said, okay, well, what we gonna do? We gonna finish the Christmas tree. And once we're done, we're gonna go get you some more donuts, okay? That was my first instance of seeing a man stop and take care of me, no matter what he had going on. So I was taught at that moment, no man is ever too busy for you. And my grandfather was a very busy man. Some of the Victorian homes in San Francisco, he helped build, even though he only had a 3rd grade education. So he was very busy. He was always on the go. He was a blue collar worker. You know, sometimes he was like, April May, you want to go to work with me? And I would go to work with him to help clean up some of the debris. And I had to be about 7, but that was my hero. And so because of that, and because I saw a man, that was my definition of a man. He was a protector. He was a provider, but at the same time, he was very tender and loving and caring and attentive. That stuck with me. And my best friend he says all the time, he said, hey, that's the kind of guys you like. You like those take charge kind of guys. I said, yes, because that's what I saw. And that feels like home to me.